And we're live. Oh, we already got 2 thumbs up. Thank you so much for the people who gave us the 2 likes. Welcome to today's show. We have a really cool show today, and I can't wait to get into it. So, are you a fan of wraps but can't stand the processed ingredients or the taste of nori? I know the struggle. Many wraps out there are filled with refined sugar, gluten, and all sorts of chemical ingredients. Personally, my favorite is nori to make wraps, to make raw wraps. I find it to be really delicious and very quick, but I know not everyone likes nori, including you, Ma.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, so I've heard it before. So today I'm excited to share my secret to making delicious, clean, and nutrient packed wraps that are perfect for healthy meals without any unwanted extra ingredients. First, let me introduce you to myself if you're new to me in this channel. My name is Samantha Salmon, certified integrative nutrition coach and brain health licensed trainer, and I'm here alongside my beautiful 72-year-old mother, Dorrell Hylton Salmon. Ma, say hi.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
And my mom made actually a raw pumpkin soup based off of our conversation from last week, right? We were talking about different raw dishes that can be done, and we got onto the conversation around soups and if pumpkin can be done raw. And so, Ma, I would love to show everyone what you've made, which is this beautiful pumpkin soup. Tell me about your experience making this soup.
Well, I make soup all the time, which we said that before, and I make a soup every day, every week. I have a different kind of soup, and it's coming on to the time of year when I do pumpkin soup. So there's nothing different I do in making this pumpkin soup. The only difference is this one is raw. No, the only heat in this soup is the cayenne pepper, which I use carrot and a cup of pumpkin, a cup of butternut squash, half a teaspoon of smoked paprika, half a teaspoon of cayenne pepper, half a teaspoon of turmeric, 2 cloves of garlic, one half a teaspoon of Celtic salt, sea salt,
Celtic.
Celtic sea salt,
Celtic sea salt.
Celtic sea salt, um, 1 teaspoon of Italian dressing. Okay, so before I tell you the other two
Wait,
ingredients,
Italian dressing or seasoning?
Italian, sorry, seasoning, Italian
Seasoning. Okay.
seasoning, which when I'm um, making my soup hot, the only difference with this one, there is no oil in it.
Mm-hmm.
But what I garnish the top of the soup with is I soak half a cup of raw cashew, raw organic cashew, and I blended it, make it real smooth, and I garnish the top of the soup with the cashew, and then I put some chopped celery in it on top
Okay.
of it. Yeah.
So that's what we're looking at here is like a cashew cream with the garnish on it.
Yes. Right. Yeah.
So was there how did you like the taste? Obviously it's your recipe, so you really liked it. Was there
It
anything distinguished about it? Like if for folks who already kind of have a familiarity with pumpkin soup that's cooked, what what did you experience the difference having it raw from a taste perspective?
it just to me have a fresher and a sweeter taste.
Sweeter.
Yeah, sweeter.
Interesting.
Yeah. I only put a half of teaspoon of salt in it, and it was quite a big amount. It's one of those 32 ounce container that I made it in. But it has a sweeter taste. But as I say, it's not different from the soup I make because those are the ingredients I use in my soup other than oil. So my oil in this soup would be the cashew.
Okay, so when you make a cooked soup, you add oil.
When I make cooked soup, I use a little olive oil to saute the onions and the garlic to get that kind of aroma, that nice taste into the vegetables, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But this I didn't have to do. But it's delicious. It's nice. Very nice.
Yeah. Was there any ingredient you found challenging to work with in this recipe?
No, no,
No.
no.
How about any tips for viewers who are trying to make this recipe for the first time?
It's very simple. Very, very simple. And you could drop the recipe, you know, for them to you know, if they want. But it's very simple.
Yeah,
It's, you
if you
know,
give it to
it's
me,
just,
if you
yeah, it's
can, or maybe after I can get the transcript for this and copy paste it, and
right.
folks, you could email me. I'll post it in our Facebook group, the Raw Food Health Empowerment Circle group, and I could pull the transcript and get the recipe and put it
It's as easy as one, two, three.
there.
I mean, it's very easy.
Because basically all you did was throw all the stuff in a blender, yeah?
Yes, that's it. Just throw everything in the blender and blend it up. The only thing you don't throw in there is the cashew. And the reason why I use the cashew is because I just feel like the soup needs some kind of oil, good
Mm-hmm.
oil. And I figure cashew would be one of those good oil in my soup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. To have a fat in the dish, that's like a culinary technique to balance out taste, flavor, like depth of flavor, and to provide some satiation. If you have some kind of fat in there, it makes you feel like you ate and you have some level of satisfaction. I want to say hi to Jennifer for joining us. She says, "Hi, Mom." Hey, Jennifer. Thanks for joining.
Hi,
Um,
Jennifer.
and then there's Gigi's Loves. Hey, Gigi. Asking, are you located in New York? My mom is in New York. I'm in Florida. And I would be curious to know why you asked that question. Okay, here we go. So she says, do you have classes on raw food cooking? What if you don't like it hot or spicy? Yeah, I know my mom puts ginger and cayenne in
Oh, yeah, I
everything.
forget to say that. Did I tell you I put ginger in there? I did. I didn't have it down here, but I have to write it down. I did put a finger of ginger,
Yeah,
fresh organic ginger in there.
yeah.
Ginger, because living in New York, the ginger, the cayenne pepper, and a little turmeric is a nice flavor in your soup for cold weather. It's very
Mm-hmm.
nice, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Tastes very wonderful,
Right.
delicious.
And for folks who say I can't do the cold food, it has a warming feature to it, right? It warms up your body when you use these ingredients, boosts circulation, so it's really great for blood flow in the brain. So all of that. But for folks who don't like hot or spicy food, you would just eliminate that from the list, from your ingredient list. Just take it out the recipe, and then um,
And a little tip also
mhm.
for people concerned about wrinkles and their face getting you getting wrinkles around your mouth. I was listening to Dr. Oz one day, and he was talking about drinking hot stuff cause around your mouth to wrinkle faster. So people is very conscious about these wrinkles around the mouth.
Yeah.
Try room temperature food. It's quite okay
I
because I'm
wonder
dying to.
what his explanation was as to how or
Well,
why
he
that.
claims that there is fat tissue that keeps your mouth plump looking, your around your mouth plump looking, and
Hmm.
when the heat catches it, it makes it flatter. It's just like you put something out in the sun and it start melting.
Hmm.
Whether it's true or not,
Interesting.
I listen to him. I don't know if it worked, but I'm at the age where I'm supposed to get these lines and wrinkles. So it don't really matter to me, but I'm just saying there's nothing wrong with room temperature food. And as long as you have cayenne pepper in there, and the
Hmm.
cayenne pepper is not hot, you get a little, but it's nothing. I mean, in 2 seconds it's gone, but it
Hmm.
warm your stomach. It's nice, you know. And what you could do before you pour it in the bowl, keep it out on the counter. Before you pour it in the bowl, you could warm your bowl. Just warm your bowl and then pour the soup in the warm bowl. And it's delicious. I can't wait to dive into mine.
You have it right there with you, right?
Yes, my dear. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
if they could see it, but it's right here. I don't want it spilled, but that's it. Can you see
Yeah.
it?
Yeah, we could
Okay.
see.
All right.
So, for folks who may not have all the ingredients, like, have you thought about any variations or substitutions to this dish?
Um, like okay, so let's say you don't have cayenne pepper. Or let's say you don't have, I use three things. I use butternut squash,
Mm-hmm.
carrots and pumpkin. Just like, let's say you just have one. Well, you don't want to do carrot soup alone because I don't recommend it. But let's say you have just a pumpkin or the butternut squash. You can use the
Yeah.
butternut, yeah. You can use either one. Then, if you don't have smoked paprika, use regular paprika. If you don't have cayenne pepper, use black pepper. I think everybody have turmeric, so use the turmeric. The fresh garlic is good in your soup. I don't like garlic powder and stuff like that. I don't mind
Hmm.
garlic powder over my salad, but not in soups.
Okay. Ma, do me a favor and sit back a little bit because only half your face is in the frame. And tell me about the garlic powder versus fresh garlic. Why you have such a strong opinion on this?
It's more potent, and it's more, and the raw garlic is very healthy, very good. I'm not, because to me the garlic powder is, I cannot compare them to be the same because they have to process those. They have to
Hmm.
dry it out to make it into a powder. But when you use the fresh garlic, you're getting the real McCoy.
Yeah. From a taste perspective, though, I would expect the fresh garlic to be a lot stronger in flavor.
Yeah, but remember it blend in with other things. So
So,
you're
but
not
you
just have,
prefer
you're not,
the taste of it in raw
yeah, like,
dishes?
I like the taste of it, yeah.
Hmm.
But for people who don't like it, they can use the dry one if they want to.
Yeah.
But I, because I was doing everything raw, I just prefer just do everything raw instead of
Right.
using dry. The only thing dry I used was the Italian seasoning.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
And in terms of like eating this as a meal, do you feel like it's sufficient?
With a bowl of salad, yes, with some greens. Yeah, that's
Okay.
how we have it. That's what we're gonna have for dinner this evening.
Oh, okay. The raw soup?
S- Raw soup and salad. Daddy
Oh,
gonna try it
nice.
some for the first time. Yeah, I'll let you know
Oh,
that
cool.
come.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. We're dying to hear. So that's great, Ma. Thanks so much. So we can kind of close the loop on the whole thing. Can we have pumpkin raw and butternut squash? You put pumpkin and butternut squash and you made a soup. And I think that's super cool. Ronald says raw garlic is very strong. Yeah, Ronald, I agree.
I
Um,
love, I love garlic and I love raw onions. So, oh, and I did put
yeah.
onions in there. Yeah, raw
Yeah,
onion.
and I'm actually allergic to raw onions. Like I get heartburn from it. Ronald says, I'm like your mom. I'll eat a clove of garlic with my food.
Uh
Interesting.
huh. Hmm. You
So
go,
no
Ronald.
vampires around you, Ronald. Uh,
No, the vampires
Gigi
away.
says, thank you. Do you do any raw food classes in Long Island or New York area? You should do some at the church, Ma. It's right there. Right there for the boroughs people and for the Long Island people. There you go. There's your assignment. This will be the
You're
first dish
so
you could do.
funny.
Because honestly, the food for life instructors with PCRM, they do food demos and things like this. They don't typically do 100% raw dishes, but for folks who are interested in getting into it, maybe you can do that at the church. I think that would be a great idea. Gigi, thank you for the idea. Ronald says the soup looks good. And he says, yeah, my wife definitely knows when I have eaten some fresh garlic. Honestly, I feel like this creates havoc in a lot of relationships. garlic, onions, scallions. They just so happen to be cancer fighters. But if you have to share a room with somebody eating this stuff, you can really tell the difference.
Well, you know something, if you drink a lot of water too, it doesn't, it does, it don't smell as much. If you just eat it, you keep eating it and you don't drink the water, you have to drink water.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
maybe that's it. Not enough
yeah, the
water
water,
consumption.
yeah, the water will, the water.
From my understanding on the studies of garlic, it doesn't matter where you put the garlic. You can even do a garlic suppository, and you will still smell garlic
It
coming out
come
of
right
every
your
pore.
entire pores. Wherever there's a pore, it's gonna come through it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's how
but
strong
that's
it is.
good. But that's how good it is.
All right, so today we're gonna talk about wraps. So I made a wrap, and this is the before. And this is the after. And so I brought it here. I did try it. This recipe is in a new recipe book I put together on wraps, like a little wraps guide. But here it goes. Gonna try it again.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite wrap. The lettuce, the romaine lettuce.
So I call these more like tacos, because typically when it comes to wraps, for like a real wrap or a burrito, you want to use something like a collard leaf, but I didn't see any. Trader Joe's doesn't typically sell collard leaves, and I didn't want to go to Whole Foods, so I decided to go with romaine and make some tacos. And I have really been craving romaine this past month.
I feel like I'm on an eating show, but I just hate to say some of the soup. It is so delicious.
Yeah. And this is so much better than eating gluten processed wraps. You know what I'm saying? Even if you don't like nori. Because if you're trying to alleviate inflammation in the body, you want to keep all the enzymes in the food. You want to eat food that have low advanced glycation end products, right? And getting those wraps that come in the packages that have a whole paragraph of ingredients is contributing to the inflammation. There's a lot of refined sugar in there. The gluten has been implicated in causing inflammation and disrupting hormonal balance, including thyroid function. And it's just safer to go with actual whole foods, right? So if you've been trying to find clean wraps at the store, but you're noticing that they all have a long list of ingredients that's hard to pronounce,
Don't buy it.
you don't buy it. Just buy yourself some romaine leaves and make tacos. Buy yourself some collard greens or Swiss chard to do a full wrap. You could try buying some of those raw coconut wraps. If you are high insulin resistant, you want to avoid the coconut. So I find like this to be really a safe bet.
They also have the nori sheets that you can wrap. The nori
Yeah,
wrap.
but this episode is specifically for the folks who don't like nori, and I know that was an issue for you as well.
Okay, yeah.
Right, with the nori.
Nori.
What were you saying about the nori? Because I love nori. Like with this,
It was just too much chewing for me. I couldn't take all that chewing.
the chewing.
The chewing I couldn't take. I like the ingredients on the inside, what was inside the wrap, but all I'm tasting when I'm finished was the nori, and that's why I didn't like it.
Okay, some people are in the chat asking, about the ingredients to this. So it's obviously romaine lettuce leaves, sunflower seeds, a little bit of tahini, honestly, because I didn't have that much. Apple cider vinegar, which next time I make it, I'm going to add more to give it a little bit more moisture. One of the issues I encountered making this as I was creating this recipe for the first time is something that I've bumped up on over the past few months, I would say, because I was used to using a set of tools with my, I think it's a Ninja Foodie Prep Master or Ninja Prep Master something, right? Where I have like a normal size food processor and then a mini food processor. And then my normal size food processor fell apart. I made some delicious recipes using this, like through the holidays. And then I think like early spring or something like this, the food processor fell apart and I had to get a new one. I got a NutriBullet food processor and the container is different. The blades are different. It's more like an actual legit real food processor, but I was used to using the other machinery. And so now I'm having to learn this thing, and I find that the textures of my same recipes from before, how they come out different with this. Like, whereas maybe I needed a quarter cup of water for moisture in the other machine. Here, I need to add a little more, just because of it's a different equipment, which I find personally very frustrating and annoying because, there's this one dish that I loved, which is my raw vegan oatmeal, right? Which has no oats in there. I loved making it in my old food processor. In this food processor, though, it's just too watery and less textured. It's strange. I haven't figured it out yet, and I've just been like, Ma, it looks like you muted yourself. I don't know why. And you turned off your video.
Sorry about that.
What happened?
That's my sister. That's Elaine.
Oh, calling you.
Me. Yeah.
Maybe she's watching the broadcast.
No, she's.
So that is the reason why I basically had to move. I started making it in the big food processor, then realized it was too big, so I moved it to my little mini container. And that process dried it out. So I really should have added a little bit more apple cider vinegar. Shame on me for not tasting while I was making. But I, was just running through trying to finish on time. But that's the only thing I would do differently. The next time I make it is just maybe add a little bit more apple cider vinegar. But of course I may not need to if I start with the one smaller container. Right. And then I added salt. I think how much? I think I did a 1/4 teaspoon of Celtic sea salt, which is typically what I add, and black pepper and pink pepper. I've been using more pink pepper for folks who have histamine intolerance. Pink pepper is better than black pepper. It's better on the digestive system for less digestive issues or digestive upset. And also added into the pulse with the sunflower seeds and all these spices, broccoli. So it's a powerhouse. We have fats in here. We have the vinegar gives it a little bit of acid to kind of like give that little oomph in the flavor, plus the salt to kind of lift those natural flavors up, and the broccoli to give it some chlorophyll and some more cancer fighting and metabolic improving greens in there. And then of course it's topped with basil. So it's super good. I like it. And I think it's a great alternative to the trash wraps that are out there. If you're actually looking for results to bring inflammation down in your body, then this is how you want to do it. Ronald says, I'll have to try the romaine leaves. Yes, they're nice. And what I really like too is at Trader Joe's, at least my Trader Joe's, they have it triple washed. They're perfectly boated, like they're in the right shape, perfect leaves. You just have to be careful with it when you pull them out so you're not puncturing them. Ronald, you probably don't have nails like I do, but so I have to be, just careful so I'm not cutting up the leaves as I'm taking them out. But they make a perfect, and they're
Both.
sturdy. And you talk about like texture. Texture is a huge thing when it comes to dietary change and the foods that we like to eat. I know for me and many people I talk to, and this is what I really love about romaine, is because it's crunch. It has the water and it has the crunch, and I like that. I like feeling like I'm eating something, Jennifer says, I make my wraps with red lentils. Interesting. So yeah, so that would be like a cooked wrap, right? Because you have to cook the lentils first. Leah says she's on Long Island. There you go, Ma. You got your people. They all saying they want to see some raw food prep for the Long Island folks. Gigi says, are there any raw restaurants you recommend in the tri-state area? Right now, raw restaurants and plant-based restaurants in general, they're having a very hard time because a lot of them are converting to meat, selling meat, or closing down. There's something is happening commercially when it comes to plant-based outlets. And the pandemic really crushed a lot of businesses, especially for folks selling perishable products. You know what I'm saying? I know in LA, during the pandemic, they made it easier for the grocery stores and bars to sell alcohol. And from my experience working in community development, for the grocery stores, alcohol is their biggest money maker besides the processed foods. So without selling those things, like if you think about a healthy raw vegan spot, all of their stuff is perishable. They shut down these places for a long time, so that stuff probably went to waste. All of that money gone in the trash. And the amount of time it took to get support to these businesses was just way too long. And so many of them did not survive. So I really don't have an answer for you, Gigi. I'm so sorry. But, typically what I do with my clients is I get on the ground and I do the research and I find the people. And what I found most effective is like having an instructor, like a Food for Life instructor, actually come and do home demos, hands-on stuff, because then you get to control the ingredients. Even eating at a raw restaurant, if you're allergic to certain things, it might be hard. I've had people contact me and say, I can't do fats or whatever. I can't do the nuts and the seeds. And you're a little limited when you go to a raw vegan restaurant to avoid those things, right? Because the fat adds that kind of wow factor to keep people coming back and keep people feeling like they ate, So that's really like, we have a lot of people with food sensitivities. So the thing is really making it at home. But if I find one, then I will shout them out on the show at some point. Jennifer says, I don't cook the lentils. I just soak them in water for 3 hours and put them in the blender. Interesting. I do buy sprouted lentils, but I don't ever eat them not cooked. I would be concerned about the digestibility, but Jennifer's not having any issues. So thanks for sharing that, Jennifer. So hopefully we're all on the same page. We're going to ditch the tortilla, right? And just use some romaine or butter lettuce leaves or something like that. I mean, there's so much. I didn't even talk about cabbage leaves, right? You can use cabbage leaves, any of these greens. You can use, they're sturdy enough to actually do some really interesting fun recipes, right? You can fill that even if you're not completely vegan or plant-based or raw. Having that as a stepping stone to get yourself to eat more vegetables, I think is highly, highly, highly beneficial. I think your colon will thank you for that
True,
change.
true, 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 true.
So before we close, if you're ready to try these clean wrap options for yourself, here's a quick challenge for you, okay? Over the next week, swap out your usual wraps with one of these whole food alternatives that we talked about today and let us know how you feel. You know, you can come back to this video and comment underneath the video and let us know how that experience went for you. And I would love to encourage you all to experiment, try different things. You know, like my mom had nori and then she's like, nah, this doesn't work for me. Although you managed to finish it, I think. Peer pressure works a long way.
It was a lot of chewing.
A lot of chewing, but I like to chew and I love nori. Because with nori, it's like naturally has a natural salty flavor. So it just adds more flavor to, you know, but even with the pate, with this thing, what I've done with some other pates in the past is I would add coconut aminos to it, which gives it a nice umami flavor, has a little sweet and salt to it. I can also duplicate that, or it's not exactly the same, but kind of similar, by using balsamic vinegar, because I find balsamic vinegar has that kind of sweet salt note to it also. But you want to try different things. Experiment with different seasonings, different vinegars, different spices, you know, like what my mom was talking about with the soup. There's just so many different, you know, things that you can do. And if you want to get more creative with recipes, I do have a resource for you in the description to this video. Also, we have a Halloween recipe guide. If you want that with some Halloween recipes, you can just type Halloween in the comments. If you want some recipes on some healthy wraps to get into, just comment with the word wraps and I will send that over to you. Okay? So you all have what you need to start eating cleaner this season, right? We could walk into Thanksgiving feeling very confident with all of our healthy dishes to share with the family. Am I right?
And lots of energy.
Lots of energy. No itis, right? We'll have energy to continue conversation and joyful fun with family for the whole night instead of just falling asleep on the couch. Any closing words from you, Ma?
Just try the raw soup. It's delicious. I mean, as I said, that the same way you make your soup, all the ingredients that you put in your soup except oil, you can try this soup. Because remember, even the raw cashew is optional. You don't have to have it, but I do because I just like a little nuts in my raw soup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the photo, I mean, is beautiful.
And
With that white.
It tastes so good, though. It's delicious.
Yeah.
And Ronald, the garlic make it taste even better.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yes.
Awesome. So I can't wait for y'all to try it. I'm going to try to get the recipe from this transcript and share it into the Facebook group. Ronald, I know you're in there, so we'll get that in there shortly. And thank you all for joining us live, naturally from heaven. Gigi, Jennifer, Ronald, Leah, thanks so much for joining live. Really appreciate you all. And take care. See you next week.